On the west coast of the United States, a fascinating war is taking place, but it's not between human armies. It's a massive ongoing conflict between rival ant colonies. This battle primarily involves Argentine ants, Linepithema humile, an invasive species native to South America, and a few other native and invasive ant species. Argentine ants are highly aggressive, and their impact on local ecosystems and native ant populations has been devastating. Background of the conflict: Argentine ants first arrived in the United States in the 1890s, likely via cargo shipments into ports like New Orleans. From there, they expanded across the southern and western U.S., thriving particularly in the Mediterranean-like climates of California and other areas along the west coast. These ants have a unique social structure that has allowed them to become one of the most dominant invasive species. Unlike many native ant species, which tend to form territorial colonies that compete against each other, Argentine ants in invaded regions form vast supercolonies. In their native habitat, Argentine ants exhibit territoriality between colonies, but in North America they behave cooperatively across multiple colonies, sharing resources and expanding without internal conflict. This gives them a massive advantage over native ant species, which are often highly territorial. The supercolony wars. The most notable of these supercolonies is the California supercolony, which stretches along the entire length of the state and includes millions of ants across a vast range of connected nests. This supercolony is constantly expanding and clashing with other smaller ant populations, both native and invasive, along the west coast. One major rival is another Argentine ant supercolony called the Lake Hodges supercolony near San Diego. These supercolonies engage in brutal, large-scale battles, especially at the borders where their territories meet. Ants from different supercolonies recognize each other as enemies, even though they are of the same species. When they come into contact, massive ant skirmishes break out. Thousands of ants on each side will fight, and eventually one side will prevail by overwhelming the other with sheer numbers and coordinated attacks. Ecological impact. The dominance of Argentine ants is having a catastrophic effect on native ant species and the broader ecosystem. Native ant colonies like harvester ants, carpenter ants, and other local species are being outcompeted and displaced from their natural territories. Argentine ants tend to monopolize resources like food and nesting sites, making it difficult for native ants to survive. This loss of native ants has a ripple effect on other species. Many animals, like horned lizards, rely on native ants as a primary food source. As native ant populations decline, so do the populations of these animals. Furthermore, Argentine ants are known to disrupt mutualistic relationships between native ants and plants or insects, such as the protection that certain ants provide to plants in exchange for food. The future of the conflict. While efforts are underway to control the spread of Argentine ants, it's unclear if they can be fully eradicated. Their ability to cooperate within supercolonies makes them formidable opponents. Without intervention, the Argentine ant war on the west coast could lead to the permanent displacement of native ant species and long-term changes to local ecosystems. The full impact of this ant war may not be realized for decades, but it's clear that the Argentine ants' invasion has dramatically altered the West Coast's ecological landscape.